My dad's been an iron worker since I was a little kid. I think, a lot of, the traits I have, just because of seeing him, he get up every morning at, 4 or whatever before the sun. He's out building whatever steel structures there were in the Toledo area at the time. And, not a complainer. I think you inherently take those, little pieces of work ethic with you. Your freshman year in college, you're still trying to figure out life, much less football. But it became, something I thought, if I want to do this, I can do this. I would say I'd probably one of the most unrecognizable captains at Ohio State.
So then you're unrecognizable, you're a captain, and then you get the MVP award and you get the most inspirational player.
That's team voted. If you gain the respect of those guys, that's harder than anything. My college career was highlighted at the end, winning the Sugar Bowl, accolades, whatever, and then it was like, okay, you're back to the bottom of the barrel. Draft day sucked.
First round came and went, second round came and went, the third, the fourth, fifth. Dane was never picked. He said it was hard for him, but was thinking of his family.
Not that I let them down, because I know I couldn't have let them down. I felt bad that they didn't get to have that moment. That was probably the biggest letdown that day.
In 2011, because of the lockout, teams were restricted from talking with free agents. So the day the lockout was lifted,
probably worse than draft day. You expect it to be like, I'm going to the NFL moment. It was hell. You had all these people calling you, telling you different things, and you had to make the decision like that. You'd have guys calling in saying, hey, we really like Uncle you. Comes in, oh, I'm not brother, okay, this city, I heard it's great in Denver. My mom says, Chicago would be a great place to visit. I honestly went straight from Columbus, left everything that I had in my apartment, flew to Chicago. I went from, not knowing what was going on to a day later being thrown into camp. And at that point, you still don't, it's not like you can get comfy. You're an undrafted free agent. You got, your buddies are getting cut. You're staying in dorms. You don't know anybody. You feel like, hey, this might be easier just to chalk it up. And most guys that make it don't have that quit button. For the rest of my career, I'm gonna have to fight to be in the NFL. Majority of people in the NFL, that's how it works. You're gonna have to fight every year to be on a roster. There's not that many spots out there, and a ton of guys want them.
Being the first undrafted rookie to record multiple touchdown receptions in almost 3 decades, Dane continues to develop who he is on and off the field.
A lot of the times, I didn't even realize the difference I was making, I guess. There was a kid I met in the hospital back in Toledo with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. His wish was go to Ohio State game. And he came to our game against Miami. It was only the second time I'd ever met him there. He ended up passing shortly after. His family got a hold of me, and just talking to them and having them speak about the impact that those 2 meetings meant to them, it was something you don't realize at the time, but that was one of those moments where you're like, wow, my voice means more than I thought it did. I graduated college, and I'm lucky enough to get to play football for the Chicago Bears. You have to know that your teammate has your back. And I think you can end up butting heads at sometimes, but like we talked about earlier, you have to have a short memory with that because the game's not over. Jay's probably my toughest critic. I don't want to hear it sometimes, and a lot of those guys, but at the end of the day, they're making you better. If I can have the respect of the guys in the locker room, that's a win for me. Over the GM, over the coaches, I'll take the players all day. I've always had a strong base of people that are the ones that truly believe in me. I didn't ever want to have to make that phone call back home and tell those people that I didn't make it.